Hey guys, welcome to my channel. We are going to be talking about The Walking Dead, the TellTale series, characters like Lee and Clem, and overall what made the game so good. Now, if you are new to my channel, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button as we start to begin to tell the story of the two bonds that would eventually make The Walking Dead TellTale series an incredible game. Now, we start off by meeting Lee, who is actually on his way down to the station for murdering his wife and the guy she was cheating on Lee with. Now, while on the way there, the cop, not paying attention, eventually crashes, and this is where Lee and Clem's fate would ultimately meet. Lee, not knowing Clem, but comes to find out that she is all alone, and Clem, being as smart as she is, also at a point even saves Lee's life by giving him a hammer to take care of the first zombie that eventually turns out to be Clem's nanny. Now, there are characters that are a part of this game that I would like to talk about, such as the first people we come to meet, like Kenny and his family. They're not the first, but they're the other ones that Lee and Clem knows a bond with. Now, throughout the series, there are two more characters that I would like to talk about, and one of them happens to be Glenn, and the other happens to be Carly. Now, there is another character named Lily. Lily is not such a nice person. In fact, Lily actually kills Carly, and if you're somebody like me, then you would know that Carly, you instantly liked Carly, and so did Clem, which is why Clem remembers Carly after all this time.
Lee isn't with you. So he's dead then. He was kind to me, even after I shot that girl, Carly.
So, as you can see, even though it was years later, seasons later, she still remembers Carly, because Carly was one of those who was like Kenny and like Lee. She really enjoyed her company. In fact, you can probably even say Carly was that female role model, which is probably why she never forgot her, even after all these years. Now, Lee would go on to be sort of a father figure to Clementine, teaching her everything he knows, how to survive, cutting her hair and everything. And through this time, there would be happy places for Clem, such as the train, where, Lee tells her that she always picks the train, which symbolizes Clem's happy place. And her happy place actually happens to be there with Lee, which is not a bad thing.
Hey, Sweet Pea.
Lee?
Why the train? You always pick the train.
I'm not sure. Maybe because this is where it all started.
Now, if you notice something about Clem, that is, Clem doesn't necessarily talk about her parents anymore. After she finds out that her parents died, it was like, that was it. All she has is Lee. But even before she found out, Lee was technically all she had, because Lee was like that father role. It's kind of like a Gohan and Piccolo type thing, as Piccolo is more of a father to Gohan instead of Goku. But this is kind of the same, because she also had parents, but Lee is more of the father role. And Lee took care of her, showing her how to shoot, like I said, cut her hair, and to just grow to survive. And all of that was showed throughout the rest of the seasons. Now, let's take a moment to actually give you an example of Clem taking Lee's teachings, such as when she ended up having to stitch her wounds and kill a zombie, all while just her after being bit by a dog and had to prove that she's not infected. Now, if that is not Lee's teachings, then I don't necessarily know what is. But she has become this strong person throughout the years.
Holy shit.
Wait, you know this guy? Clementine?
Oh my god. Clementine, it's you? My name is Lily.
Now, I wanted to show those clips to show you guys that who she remembers and the difference between, you know, people she loved versus others. She loved Carly and she loved Kenny. Not so much Lily after what happened to Carly. But Clem, like I said, Clem's happy place is that with Lee, and her happy place actually changes. Like, for example, being back in the RV as a kid with Lee. It was her happy place, and you would kind of notice that Clem doesn't necessarily talk about her parents. In fact, her parents are not even part of her dreams. It's Lee. And the reason why it's Lee is because Lee is that father to Clem. He makes her feel better, like she's not going through anything. Now, another thing I want to talk about is her teachings to AJ. Her teachings to AJ is that similar to that of Lee. Lee would do anything to protect Clem, and Clem would do anything to protect AJ. And even in the end, when Lee gets bit, Clem doesn't want Lee to leave. She wants to stay with Lee. And the same thing can be said about AJ. In fact, AJ actually says he wants to stay with Clem. And if she goes, he wants to go with her. So that just goes to show the teachings and her happy place. Now, as we start to get towards the end of the video, I would like to say this: the bonds between Lee and Clem is something that truly makes the story of the Walking Dead TellTale series just that good. Because imagine it just being a story and not being able to build with the characters. That itself would not be good. But it's the fact that these two characters have this bond. Clem loves her parents, but not as much as she loves Lee. And Lee loves Clem to the point where he would do it all over again, as long as it means that he can protect Clem. And Clem would do it all over again as long as it means she can protect AJ. But in the end, when it's all said and done, this is Clem's happy place. And it was at this point, I'm pretty sure we all miss Lee truly. And The Walking Dead is just one of those perfect stories that, to the point where I don't necessarily want to talk about all the rest of the seasons. I made this video because I strictly wanted to focus on the first season, but I realized I couldn't do that without mentioning all the other ones. But this was definitely one of my favorites, from the bonding all the way down to The music and sadness, the story, and the development of the characters, and no character showed bigger development than that of Clem, who went from a shy little girl to a total badass. Now, I want to thank you all. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe for more contents, and I will see you all in the next video.
Hey, Sweet Pea.
Lee?
Why the train? You always pick the train.
I'm not sure. Maybe because this is where it all started. Where you taught me to shoot and to cut my hair. To be ready for what was coming.
You were a quick study. So, what's on your mind this time? Wow. Just look at you. Just look at you. Thought I told you to keep this short.
You don't know how hard it is to find scissors these days.
Time to go, Clementine. You've got people that need you.
Goodbye, Lee.